and who could move his props around without arousing suspicion. Someone who was always by his side.
I always
Isn't that
prefer
right,
listening to
Lorenzo?
Lyney. Yay!
Just
I
clueless
found it
sleeping
out.
dogs lie. There's not a lot of people who'd go to all this trouble for some magician who died 10 years ago. I didn't want to have to do this, you know. Silencing you the hard way just creates more problems for me to deal with.
Do you know how badly I beat
I
up
hope
your
you do
own
what's good for you and back
sidekicks?
off like the lady, but you disappoint me.
Shut up.
You mean Gemma?
Yes,
We know
although
that.
however stubborn she might be, she was never much of a liability. But you people,
I'm very sure
you never
Lyney
even
even
knew
know
him, but for
him.
some reason you just wouldn't drop it. Which is why you can't leave this place alive.
You know what? Let's do it. Come on, I gotta do this quickly. I needed to,
Strike a pose!
like,
Hold that pose! To ashes!
come on, Lyney.
Step right up.
Where? Oh, he's got a huge mech. Of course he's rich.
Let's get this show on the road.
Yay! We got a little kitty cat beating this guy up. Now, easy. Oh, we just heal ourselves up. Just a one final camera click to put this whole thing to an end. This guy gets beaten up by a card! You're the one who got beat up by a card!
Had
You
enough
have
yet,
no right
Lorenzo?
to speak!
Your cronies can't help you now. I think it's high time you started talking. And what I'd really like to know is, why did you murder Caesar?
If I had a mora for every time you said that man's name. Of course you idolized Caesar, everyone else did. But I was the real genius magician. Me! He was
Murder
just an
isn't
amateur
okay.
who did cheap tricks for gullible children. I
Come
was the one
on.
who made magic into the fine art it is today. The aristocrats doffed their hats to me.
Can I
So
just
was
skip this
jealousy.
guy to get it to shut up?
Jealousy. Hatred, more like. I hated Caesar. All he cared about was
Imagine
his
getting
magic.
jealous
He
as a
lived
guy
and
who performs
breathed it.
magic tricks for
Poured
children.
everything into his street performances and his stupid tours like it was just a hobby to him, never bothering to think about Mora. What sort of fool devotes their life
Lyney,
to
can
the
you
art
just
of
kick this
deception
guy?
and never has a Mora to show for it? But the people loved him, didn't they? Oh, how they looked up to him. No one gave me a second look. All I ever heard was, "Oh, your master's amazing, isn't he? Amazing."
Oh, I
So
hate
amazing that he
Caesar
was
for
completely
performing for
broke.
kids and
Every other
enjoying
apprentice
his
was living it up
job.
at their master's expense, but no, not me. I put in all the work, mastered all the
Just
skills.
leave.
He forbade me from using magic to trick people out
Oh,
of the
yeah.
Mora.
He
There
just
was
wanted to
nothing
enjoy
he
his
hated more than
art.
that.
Oh my
And with his
goodness.
reputation in Fontaine, it was too risky for me to go it alone. As long as he was alive, if I dabbled in my own brand of money-making
You're
magic,
just
it would
screwed up.
expunge me,
Actually,
and
be
I had to
quiet.
kill him. There was no other way.
Why? Just
This was
let
your
this
only
guy in
motive?
jail. We already have
Was
Charlotte
reason
in my
enough. What other
team.
motive would I need?
She's already
Well,
a
I was
witness.
under the impression that there might have been other factors at play. For instance,
Oh, a
maybe
love story
you were
too.
in
Oh
love
my
with Gemma,
goodness, I
but
did
she
not
was
expect
engaged
that.
To Caesar.
In love with Gemma. Don't be ridiculous.
Guess I
You
was
didn't
wrong
want
about
to
that
kill
then.
her.
Next question. Are you the Phantom Weasel?
I am.
He just laugh
Caesar
about like
was-
that.
So strict with me. He insisted that his way was the right way. That the sole purpose of magic was to bring joy to the world. I never
Let him
bought into
enjoy
any of
things.
that.
Oh my goodness.
I was more interested in the practical value of magic. Sure enough, it helped me fill my pockets with all kinds of valuable
You just wanted to
treasure.
grant wishes to children.
Charlotte told us that the weasel would steal whatever people valued, no matter how much it was worth.
That's just how it looked from the outside. What would any thief want with second-rate loot? I've only ever targeted high-value items. I stole cheap things as a way of practicing my craft. It was other people's overactive imaginations that conjured up the preposterous image they then dubbed the Phantom Weasel.
Why
So
did you
that's
want
the
to
story,
screw
huh?
up Lyney
Well,
with,
I hope you're ready
with
to
the letter
tell
on
it
the
all over
door?
again.
What choice do I have? You're a pack of
There are
wolves,
two
and you've got
wolves
me between
inside me.
your jaws. You've seen what's here, so be it.
Can we just kick
I've
this guy,
enjoyed power and wealth
please?
for the last 10 years, the likes of which Caesar could never give me. I wouldn't choose for
You
things done
regret
this
nothing.
way.
Can you regret a
But
foot
I-
to your
Very well.
face?
In that case, I'll contact the guards. Traveler, Paimon. Keep
Or
an eye
the
on
police
Lorenzo
force.
for me.
Yeah, that's good
I'll meet
too.
you just outside the workshop when I'm back.
Yay! This is going on for quite a while. I will need to go leave soon.
At
Hello?
least I
Blah 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 blah. How do I kick you? Hold on. We got a perfect guy for this. Yay! Let's head out here really quickly now. Is there anything left behind? Nope, it's not. Oh, that was a wild ride. Yay, the
Lyney
police
has
is here.
told me the whole story. Lorenzo, do you confess to the murder of Caesar and to framing him for the Phantom Weasel's crimes?
I gotta do this quickly. I gotta go to my therapist.
Look who's finally developed a conscience.
For 10 years!
What
Oh
kind
my
of disciple
goodness!
murders their own master? I hope it was worth it, because there'll be hell to pay.
Yeah, this guy is having a lifetime in jail. I don't
Looks
really
like
know
it's all over.
the degrees of murder,
What
but I
should we
think
do
it was
next,
second-degree
Lyney?
murder.
Should we start preparing for your show?
Let me think. Let's rendezvous with Lynette and Gemma first. With Lorenzo in custody, Gemma will no longer have to fear for her safety.
Good point. We should go tell Gemma the good news right away. It'll give her some peace of mind for sure.
Let's hurry up. Let's hurry up and meet her. Yay! Oh yeah, it's Lynette with her too. I think Lynette did a good job at being a bodyguard. I almost said bodybuilder. Imagine how cursed it would look. So let's go. Let's do a high altitude. Just a little bit.
Ah, you're back. You were so quick. I've only just finished my third dessert.
Num num
Your
num.
third? Lynette, come on, we've talked about this. Everything in moderation. You're not gonna have any room left for dinner now.
That's fine. I'll shift to exercise mode and jog off the excess sugar.
Well, it's done now. But try to eat a more balanced diet in the future.
Point taken.
Did everything go okay?
Yay, we did. We beat the guy up and I kicked him in the face.
The guards are taking him into custody as we speak.
Gosh,
It's like
that's amazing.
So he was so
I'm
suspicious
sorry.
early
I still
on
didn't know
in
if
the
I could
story
trust you,
quest.
but now it seems I can. I had my suspicions about Lorenzo, but I...
Can we give you a
Okay,
hug?
we understand. He did threaten you. Paimon would find it hard to trust strangers in your position too. But you don't need to be scared anymore. Everything's gonna be okay.
Sorry. Sorry. My emotions are all over the place right now. I've been waiting for this day to come.
I just
for
realized
so long.
Lorenzo did a
I
huge,
always wanted to
cheesy
report Lorenzo.
villain monologue.
took
He
all
got
of Caesar's
exactly what he
property, which I
deserved.
found suspicious. But I had people watching me all the time, so I couldn't risk looking into it. I was so afraid. I was scared he'd do something terrible to me, and then no one would be left to visit Caesar's grave. So I never had the courage to speak out.
Alright,
Thank
let's
you
get
all.
Charlotte on this. We gotta
Truly.
bring out the truth.
Thank you so much.
It's no problem. I do these things for free. Because Celestia gives me twinkle tits for this.
Thank you all for clearing Caesar's name.
Let's go!
I never would have guessed that Lorenzo was the real Phantom Weasel. He never showed any signs that there were problems between him and Caesar in public. From the outside, it looked like they got along great. And to think that lowlife's been living life to the fullest all this time, while Caesar's name was getting dragged through the mud. It's a travesty. At least his soul can finally rest in peace now, thanks to your efforts.
Let's give Gemma some time to grieve.
If only I'd realized before it was too late.
It's all sunk cost now, Gemma.
Don't blame yourself, Gemma.
We can go visit his grave anytime.
Yeah, you still have the rest of your life to live. Caesar wouldn't want to see you spending it feeling guilty.
Cheer up, Gemma. My brother's doing a magic show at the Opera House tomorrow evening. Would you like to come along? It might raise your spirits. This show will be a special one. We're holding it in Caesar's honor.
In Caesar's honor? Really?
Sure.
Thank you. I'll be there.
Great.
Let's go.
We'll see you tomorrow evening.
Tomorrow
Traveler,
evening.
Paimon, don't be late.
Don't worry, we'll be there. No way are we gonna miss out on a free magic show.
Wait, we are not paying for
Wait.
tickets?
Paimon feels like we're forgetting something.
Forgetting what?
Oh yeah, Caesar's diary!
Yeah. We know Paimon! I can tell I'm smart. You're not. Let's wait till tomorrow morning and let's get on with the show. Hey Charlotte, what you doing here?
Here I am, as we agreed.
Yay!
What kind of show, Lyney? Oh, and how could I forget?
Yay, this is great. Man, we're already solving some very long time crimes.
Paimon's excited to see another of Lyney's magic shows.
Oh hi Lynette.
Wait,
Are you a dummy?
shouldn't you be on stage by now?
Not this time. My brother's going solo today.
Okay.
So I'll be watching with you.
Good
Yay!
evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody's ready because the show is about to begin. The great magician Lyney has prepared a spectacular show for us all tonight, concluding with an all-new grand finale that no audience has ever seen before.
I'm predicting that it is
Thank you
going
all
to be
so much
that
for
escape
coming.
trick
Now,
from high
prepare to join
altitude.
me on a journey through the mystical and miraculous.
Exciting stuff, isn't it?
Oh, wait,
Yes,
we don't
it's
even
just-
see it? Wait.
It reminds me of him.
This is all a scam!
Caesar was a famous magician.
Wait a
too.
second, is it gonna show up? Is it cutscene?
Well, I was out on the
Ah,
street
that's
once,
so
and
nice.
I saw him performing for little children love magic because they're willing to believe in things that can't be rationally explained.
What an excellent magician.
Caesar had this amazing way of bringing them into a dreamlike world, and somehow I felt drawn to him too. So I went up and asked him to do a trick for me.
Aw, that sounds so romantic. What trick did he do?
It was with a flower.
Aww.
He took it in his hand, snapped his fingers, and it magically appeared on my head. I was so happy that day. No one had ever given me a flower before that.
Oh, that's so cute. Actually, now that you
Oh my
mention
goodness,
it,
Lumine
Lyney's
and
done that
Lyney
one
shippers.
Is that right? Then I suppose he's a romantic at heart, just like Caesar.
Imagine we
So
had Ether
let's
with
treasure
here.
the time we have with him. After all, you never know when the people dearest to you might be gone.
I'm sure this won't happen again,
That's
or at
right.
least we have
It's
ways of
over now.
uncovering the culprit.
Paimon doesn't really know how to comfort you, but at the very least, no one's gonna be intimidating you from now on. You can breathe easy at last, right?
Right.
At last or at least?
Yes, you can breathe easy now. Phantom Weasel.
See? Even Lynette says
Wait a
what?
second.
the Phantom Weasel? Lorenzo escaped? Where is he?
What do you mean, Phantom Weasel?
As Lyney once said, a performer's job is to commit fully to their role and put on a flawless performance for their audience. But once the bag of tricks is empty and the curtain falls, it's time to end the show. The spotlight is no place for someone with no more cards up their sleeve. It's been 10 years, Gemma. Aren't you tired of the grieving
Oh
widow
my
act?
goodness!
I think it's time to put an end to it.
I didn't
What are
expect
you
this.
talking about?
Was she the one stealing things for children?
Paimon doesn't like this,
Yeah,
Raquel.
let's just get this
Paimon
on.
doesn't like where this is going. Come on, say something.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all enjoying the performance so far. There will now be a brief intermission, after which Lyney will perform the most electrifying act of tonight's show, the one we've all been waiting for. The final performance will take place outside of the Opera House, so please make your way outside in a calm and orderly fashion.
The Phantom Weasel never did like public places, did they? Don't worry, this place will be quiet soon. Let's talk somewhere else for now.
Let's go place, let's go ahead and see the truth. This is so confusing. I wasn't really paying attention that much to anything suspicious about her, besides not wanting to share stuff with strangers. Like, I mean, you don't usually share stuff with strangers. Why did you steal stuff?
Dear me, this is awkward, isn't it? And unfortunately, I'm all out of gadgets, so I'm afraid I can't do any tricks to liven up the mood.
We couldn't even see the performance. What a shame.
This is a big mistake for a magician to make, but thankfully, I do have a backup plan. Now,
is it gonna be about you growing up with
Lyney,
Caesar?
important things to address right now. Lynette accused Gemma of being the real Phantom Weasel a moment
We
ago.
know.
All in good time. Magicians are good at guessing what people are thinking. I know the questions you want to ask. And as it happens, the story I'm about to tell might answer a few of them.
Really? Well then, let's hear it. Paimon's dying of curiosity here.
Let's go back to the very beginning. A decade ago, when the Phantom Weasel was terrorizing the court of Fontaine. She never missed a target, never left a trace, and no treasure was safe from her thieving hands. But as her infamy grew, so did the readiness of the police, and her opportunities to act became ever fewer. Every day, she ran the risk of being exposed for who she was. Of course, she could not simply take this lying down, and before long, she found her ticket to freedom. She would create a scapegoat, a false weasel to close the chapter on her behalf. After weighing her options, she set her sights on a renowned magician.
She could grieve for
After all,
her husband
magic
to
and theft
cover
shared enough
her
similarities
suspicions
for
up.
people to buy the story when the truth came out.
So then what?
Being the master deceiver she was, the Weasel easily earned Caesar's trust. Now all that remained was to frame him for her countless crimes. But as she was considering how to make her move, she noticed Caesar's
Lorenzo
aggrieved pupil, and a new thought entered her mind. Maybe I don't need to get my hands dirty after all. At her encouragement, Lorenzo tampered with Caesar's magic box, causing him to fall to his death. Afterwards, Lorenzo seized his master's property, and the Weasel set about tarnishing Caesar's reputation. Two co-conspirators
Oh, they
committed
were
the
working
perfect
together.
crime.
Right. Well, at least we were right for getting Lorenzo arrested.
I've got to hand it to you. You're both exceptional storytellers. It's enough to make even me wonder whether there was really another mastermind behind all this, pulling the strings. But I just have one question. You seem to think that I am the villain in this tale. What's brought this on, Lyney? Is it something that Lorenzo said?
Don't worry, Lorenzo said nothing at all. But I never believed that he was the weasel, and in fact, my investigation only made me more certain of that. He was too forthcoming with his confession, as if there was something else he was trying to hide.
So the villain monologue was so weird too.
So you'd sooner trust Lorenzo than me? Even without a shred of evidence?
A magician is an expert at playing the audience to get the result they want. And I have no doubt that you, Gemma, are equally talented in this regard. With a little help from Lorenzo, you put on a very convincing performance. The lovesick fiancé, whose devotion to her betrothed is unshakable, even under threats of violence. Caesar was maligned and hated by all for 10 years, but you? Everyone sympathized with your plight. Who would suspect for 1 second that the lovely young lady always seen weeping in front of Caesar's grave was actually the mastermind behind his demise? No, not that poor lady. Perish the thought.
Wait, so you mean the whole intimidation thing was just a hoax?
Duh.
Why would Lorenzo agree to that? And why didn't he sell her out even at the end instead of admitting to being the weasel himself?
Yes, why indeed? Maybe Gemma herself could enlighten us on that question.
Well, Lyney, if you're so confident in your version of events, then I think the answer should be obvious. Having killed Caesar with his own hands, Lorenzo was plagued by overwhelming guilt. Revealing the Phantom Weasel's true identity would serve no purpose. But if the Weasel remained free, then she could take care of Lorenzo's loved ones.
An excellent answer, though sadly a little dull.
Is that right? Well, don't let me bore you. If you'd care to change the topic to something more interesting, I'd be much obliged.
As a matter of fact, there's one thing I'd really like to understand. Why would the real weasel have targeted things that only have value to other people? Could you shed any light on that?
Now remember those wishes
After
that the
all,
children left.
We're just telling stories here, aren't we? If I had to guess, I would say that the real weasel must have had a terrible childhood.
Oh.
Left to fend for herself after her parents died young. Betrayed, scorned, beaten. She'd scrounge waste paper from garbage bins to draw on, using twigs and dirt for lack of ink and pen. She'd sew ugly rag dolls from whatever scrap material she could get her hands on. This was her only source of happiness in life. But it was all she needed, and she was content. Until the world decided that even this was too good for her. Once again, she was betrayed. And this time, everything was taken from her. She felt like life was a miry pit that dragged her further down the more she struggled to escape. At that tender age, she should have been happy. Instead, she stood in the shadows and watched with envy as all good things in the world passed her by. This was a fate too cruel for anyone to bear. Her pain became a breeding ground for dark thoughts. Thoughts which festered and grew into a twisted solution to her troubles. I detest the happiness of others, in all its forms alike. I will rob them of everything they hold to be good and true, and it will fill the void in my soul.
Let's go to jail already.
That's some pretty heavy stuff.
Now it all makes sense.
Does this story satisfy you, Lyney?
Yes, it is quite to my tastes. Thank you for helping to clear up my confusion.
What's with the warning letter? Probably to rob Lyney of his happiness too.
Huh. That's right. What drove you to write that letter, Gemma? What were you trying to achieve there? Because without that, none of this would have ever come to light.
She didn't write the letter.
After 10 long years, I'd hoped that the Phantom Weasel would be consigned to the history books by now. But it seems like someone still wasn't ready to let her finally be at peace. Lyney. Or should I call you the Phantom Copycat now? You were the one who posted that letter outside the Opera House. But why?
Such big brain twists and turns.
Very sharp, Phantom Weasel. Still as shrewd as ever. Well, no need for me to be coy about it. Our goal was to clear Caesar's name. The most straightforward way to change the public's impression of Caesar was to force the Weasel to show themselves.
That's it? You had no other agenda?
Of course we did. We made it quite clear in the letter, I believe. I shall take from you that which you hold most dear, just as you did to me 10 years ago.
10 years ago? You mean Caesar's
We read
death?
it in Caesar's diary.
You met him? Wait. Oh, I get it. You were those two obnoxious kids. It's been so long, and you're all grown up now. I didn't recognize you. He taught you magic back then, didn't he? For what, 10 days or something? And you went to all this trouble. Why? Because you feel like you still owe him something?
We remember all our debts, however great or small. 10 years ago, Caesar's reputation was torn to shreds, and his legacy was thrown out. 10 years on, and no one cares what the truth is anymore. But we did not forget, and so we came to find you.
And? What exactly did you take from me? I'm still standing, as you can see. Lorenzo has admitted to everything. I'm free.
Free? Do you really think so? Caesar once told me that even though the world is filled with lies and falsehoods, we must find our own truth. I think that applies to you too. Truth can take many forms. Prized possessions with nostalgic value, fervent hopes and dreams, and irreplaceable people.
Come on, have a proper way of
Life
living.
took many things from you, and those wounds never healed. When they ached unbearably in the dead of night, stealing became your way of numbing the pain.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying that for the last 10 years, you've been living a rather uneventful life. Perhaps that's because you found something other than a life of crime to fill the hole? Back to Lorenzo for a second. He murdered his own master, played along with your act, and took pains to make sure any suspicion would be directed towards him. But what did he have to gain from all that? He knew who you were and the things you'd done, and despite that, he was willing to give everything up for your sake. He's the reason that you haven't felt the compulsion to steal in all these years. You're more than just accomplices in murder. You're the only real friends each other has. So I think you know, deep down, that he is the only truth you have in your life. But that truth is gone now. And I guarantee you, you'll never see it again.
Congratulations on your freedom, Gemma.
Your freedom will cost you dearly. From now on, you'll be all alone in a world full of lies and falsehoods. I do hope you'll be able to bear it. You've still got a long life ahead of you after all.
Gather round, one and all. The time has now come for the amazing Lyney to perform his
Oh yeah,
final act in
can we see the
show.
performance? So I guess it is a little bit smart that we don't put Gemma in jail, or like, maybe not in the same prison as Lorenzo.
A high-altitude escape?
You can do it, Lyney. You learn from the mistakes. You don't have a Lorenzo to betray you.
Fatal fall, after which he was dubbed the Phantom Weasel. But we have now learned that Caesar was wrongly accused, and that the real Weasel has now confessed to their crimes.
Guess that's my cue to leave. Whew. I've been practicing this one for ages
At least
now,
you have
but
a vision.
I'm still a little nervous. Traveler, Paimon, I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. There may be a lot of people watching tonight, but you alone are my true witnesses.
Lyney, wait. You two hid a lot from Caesar. He went to his grave without ever knowing your secrets. So what about now? Are you an open book? Or are you still the same as ever? You don't have to tell lies to end up isolated and alone. One day, you'll end up exactly where I am today. Maybe then you'll finally understand.
You're wrong. I'm nothing like you.
So, what are we, doing now?
Like Lyney said, when you're ready,
Watch
let's
the
head
show, watch
outside
the
and watch
show. Come on.
What about Gemma?
She'll figure out what's best for her soon enough. Oh, and if you'd like to see Lyney after the show, you know where he'll be. The usual haunt.
All
Oh, come on. I gotta see the result. Bye-bye, sucker. Whoa! So what's the high altitude escape trick? What? Where are we going now? I need to see... Oh, we're going this way. We're having the high seats. Oh, wait. It's... Oh, so it turns out that this cutscene is going to go outside. Oh my goodness.
Magic should be mysterious, surprising, and defy logic. Magic is hard work. Every single movement has to be practiced thousands of times.
It's alright. We're used to that.
We're sorry. You've taught us so much, but we can't tell you the whole truth.
It's okay. Do you still remember what I told you? This world is full of lies and falsehoods. I only hope that one day, you can find your own truth.
What about you? Have you found your truth?
Magic is my truth. I want to perform a magic trick so great that people will always think of me when they talk about it. For a magician, what greater honor could there be?
Look! Behold! Lyney is sealed inside the box. Will he manage to escape? 10 years ago, Caesar attempted this very trick, and it was at this precise moment that...
Lyney! Watch out!
Mysterious. Surprising. And logic-defying. Isn't that right? This honor belongs to you, Caesar. I'm just sorry it's a little late.
Did you see that?
I love these animated cutscenes.
Next, he turned into flowers.
How could he possibly have done that?
How mysterious. I didn't blink once. He just vanished right in front of my eyes.
What a heart-stopping magic show! This was really worth the trip. Caesar's name has finally been cleared, and Fontaine's new star magician Lyney has fulfilled a wish on his behalf. Oh, I couldn't ask for a better grand finale. It will make a great headline for the Steamberg tomorrow, even if I do say so myself.
Yay, money!
Whew. Looks like everyone really loved Lyney's grand finale.
So they don't know the whole full story. It was enjoyable enough.
Where'd he go? Oh, Lynette said he'd be waiting for us at the
I forgot
usual
what that is.
hunt. But, where is that? Oh, you mean the one where Caesar's buried? Yeah, that's probably it. This whole magic show kinda seemed like Lyney's way of saying goodbye to Caesar. So it makes sense that that's where he'd be afterward.
I almost read that as awkward. Well, this has been a bit of a roller coaster. I don't know, what went worse in Gemma's life that drove her to steal things? Like she could, I don't know. I don't really know the history of Fontaine like back then, where I'm not sure why other people wouldn't help her. Isn't this nation supposed to be justice or something? Why did they kick her down so hard?
Lyney! There you are. Are you alright? Paimon was scared to death when the chain broke. Paimon was sure something had gone horribly wrong.
Magic is a performance art. A magician has to get creative to keep the audience on tenterhooks. That's our job. So I tweaked Caesar's original setup a little to keep it fresh. I was honestly a little nervous during the live performance. The thought of falling, suddenly feeling weightless, seeing the sky and the ground spinning and spinning. Sometimes, I can't help but wonder what Caesar thought in those final moments. Did he regret taking Gemma and Lorenzo on? Or did he believe that it was his own slip-up right until the end?
You know, Paimon's been wanting to ask you about something ever since we were in Caesar's workshop. You learned magic from Caesar once, didn't you? When was that?
After I joined the House of the Hearth. To be honest, Lynette and I had an agenda when we approached him.
What was it?
I told you about my past before, remember? As a young boy, I survived by secretly learning magic from street performers. I'd watch their tricks and try to figure out how they were done. But I quickly realized that observation alone could only get me so far. What I saw was the polished final performance, but the rigorous training they put in behind the scenes remained invisible to me. I needed to learn how to improve my sleight of hand, hone my misdirection skills, and make niftier props. We were gifted enough that we'd made some progress by ourselves, but without proper guidance from a professional magician, we quickly plateaued.
So that's why you sought Caesar out?
Yes. We figured there was no harm in asking, but it took us by surprise that he was so willing to teach us.
Because he cared
In all,
about a
we
lot
only
about his
spent 10
craft
short
instead of
days
money.
together, but he was very good to us. By contrast, we hid so many things from him. For instance, when he asked why I wanted to learn magic, I answered, "It's my passion." But in truth, there was already a lot more to the story by then. After being taken in by an aristocrat for our magic talent, then betrayed soon after, this was no longer about me doing what I loved. What amazed me was how the lie escaped my lips even as I was hesitating over whether to tell him the truth. Trust is a beautiful thing. Sadly, I'd forgotten how to trust by then.
Lyney.
Still worried about the way I feel? You really are a gentle soul, aren't you? But don't worry, I'm used to it now. From the mansions of the elite to the House of the Hearth, lies and selfishness have followed me and Lynette everywhere we go. After Caesar went on tour, we became busy with our missions. The next we heard of him was that he'd fallen to his death, and was now declared to be the Phantom Weasel. That night, I remembered his smile. But as I lay there, I didn't know what to say to him. To keep secrets is to put up walls. The longer you keep them up, the less you let people in. Then, one day, you look around and realize your life is like an empty auditorium after a show, full of seats once occupied by all the people who left. But I guess that's the price we have to pay. You only realize how much someone really meant to you when you lose them completely. That's why I was so confident this would hurt Gemma. Because I felt it for myself.
I'm going to get you. I want to keep you company, Lyney.
Lyney?
I really like this guy.
We've had to say our fair
Give
share
me
of
the cat guy.
lies during our journey too. But whatever happens, Paimon always believes in what tomorrow brings. Delicious food, fun toys, and the traveler by my side. Paimon just needs to focus on things like this, and all the unhappy stuff goes right out the window.
I got my little chicken here on my desk too.
Doesn't that kind of make you Paimon's true?
It's Esther, the cute
Exactly.
little Minecraft chicken.
It's the same for me and Lynette. We are the truest thing each other has in the world, and nothing can replace that. Life has taken plenty from us, like it did from Gemma. But at least it left us with each other. That's what gave us the strength to get through the darkest days. That's why the darkness never consumed me, and why it never will. Maybe we live in the shadows too, but we remember every precious ray of light that shines through. Alright, time to lighten this conversation up a little. What did you think of the show tonight?
How did
Were
those
you happy with it?
drawings appear?
It was amazing! Paimon just Wishes we hadn't been so distracted with the Gemma situation. We spent most of our time in the Opera House just talking and
I think
pretty
that's
much missed
you.
the entire first half of the show.
Oh wait, why? Is that why we didn't see it?
Could you do just one more trick for us?
Whoa, that's a bit of a tall order,
I think
I'm
Paimon
afraid.
wants that
The show's
infinite
just finished,
KFC
so my sleeves are
basket.
decidedly card-free right now.
Aw, come on! Surely you can think of...
Oh, all right then. I'll give it a go, but only because it's you. Watch closely. I have a flower in my hand.
You liar! There's nothing in your hand! We ain't going along with this!
I'm trying to look at...
My goodness, you're right. But I could have sworn I brought one here with me. Okay, try this. Count down with me. 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Now, have another look around.
Yeah,
Maybe
there
the
it
flowers
is.
appeared
I
somewhere else.
don't know what flower this is. It's a rainbow rose, right? Oh.
Wow, there it is! Oh, this is a different flower.
Yeah, I
than the
know.
one, but more importantly, Paimon has to know how the trick is done. Please, Lyney, pretty please!
Well, if you want to learn magic, you'll have to start by addressing me as teacher.
Fine. Please, teacher, please!
Since you asked so nicely, I'll share one little tip with you. Namely, the student of magic cannot solely rely on others being prepared to reveal their secrets. You have to observe, think, and find the answers for yourself.
Is that it?
Look at the time. We shouldn't linger here too long.
Lyney,
Thanks
I
again
think
for coming
Lyney's
to
got
see
the
my
power
show.
of game
I bid you both
code
good night.
and making
I
things
look
appear
forward to
by
seeing
that.
you again.
I want this rainbow rose. Are we gonna get it at the end of the story quest?
Shall we head back down too?
Yay!
Paimon can't wait
This
to
has
meet
gone
the
way
secret
longer than I expected. I had to like
Lyney and Caesar will be
pause my
class
recording and come back after a few hours
offices
because I
tomorrow
was
morning and see what we can find out.
visiting my therapist. Oh, so we don't get an actual rainbow rose. We just got this little thingy. Ooh, water missing person.
Gonna give it an ugly nick.
Oh, I remember this. And then Opera House. Oh, yeah, that's right. Wait till the next morning. Okay, let's go. I don't know what to say anymore. Just let's get this thing over with. I'm so tired. I need to do Act 3 of the story quest. Not story quest, arc quest now.
I'm very sorry, Charlotte, but my sister and I are quite busy today. I'm afraid we'll have to decline this interview.
Oh, please, Lyney, I'll only take a moment of your time, if you would be so kind.
Huh? What's happening here?
I spent all night writing my piece about the Phantom Weasel, and it was going to go to print this morning. But
Man,
just as
that's
dawn
enough
broke,
of the
I suddenly
deadline.
received news that Caesar's fiancée, Gemma,
Oh.
had contacted the guards and confessed to having been the
We
real
can tell
Phantom
you
Weasel
all
all
about
along.
it.
That was quick.
Maybe she wants to get over
Too
her
late,
criminal
bro.
life and try to find
Ooh,
something
that
else
was
to
quick
enjoy.
say. It sounds like I've got some catching up to do. Please, fill me in.
Whoops.
Aha! My instincts did not lead me astray. You do have something to hide. Gemma turning herself in must have something to do with Lyney's performance last night.
Maybe watching my high-altitude escape trick reminded her of a better time with Caesar, and she could no longer ignore the voice of her conscience.
Huh. Okay then. Wait, no, there must be more to it. If that's all it took for her to have a change of heart, how did it take her 10 whole years?
Having a boyfriend.
Well...
Oh my goodness. How do we distract
I
her?
remember
Send her a
now.
dog or
You and
something.
Gemma were nowhere to be found after the show. What happened between you? Quickfire question. Where did you all go after the show?
Oh, we went to the
To
cemetery
the back of
and
the
Lyney
opera
did
house?
a
Oh.
private magic trick just for us. Actually, glad you mentioned it, because that reminds Paimon.
Rainbow
Guess what?
roses. Yay.
What? I don't recall ever having received a rainbow rose from you myself. Is this supposed to mean that they're more important to you than your own sister?
No, I just,
Is she joking? Is she playing around?
Oh no! Oh, did Paimon say something wrong again? This is getting pretty awkward. What do we do, Traveler?
Seems like this interview wasn't meant to be. Well, never mind. There's always next time. Forgive my persistence, but when there's explosive news waiting to be found, I can't turn away.
We need that
The
money,
news
we
about
need that
Gemma
dough.
has already made waves, and I'll stop at nothing to get to the bottom of it all. Apparently, one of the things she said to the guards was that her final wish is to see Lorenzo one last time. There's clearly a web of complicated relationships there. Can't blame me for being curious. All right, I guess I'll leave you to continue the rest of your conversation in peace. Bye for now.
Lynette? Paimon didn't mean to...
Don't worry, I wasn't angry. I was just trying to distract her.
Oh,
really?
I knew it.
Oh, thank goodness. You scared Paimon there.
Phew. You and me both, Paimon. You and me both. At least it did the job, right?
Please,
Give me my
take good
twinkle
care of
tits.
that rainbow rose. I'd be really upset if you lost it.
It's in my quest item folder. It'll be fine. It'll stay there forever. So yeah, we're done with the interview. I need to do something interesting real quick. Think of something. Oh wait. This recording has already gone on for 31 minutes. Oh my goodness, it's gonna take such a long time. The amount of chop sueys Lyney would have, the amount of rice puddings Lyney must have to in order to get here must be astronomical. Let's perform a trick with our favorites. Hydrorcon in 3, 2, 1, boom! Thank you for watching the video, guys. And alright, you guys. Oh, hello, you guys. I'm dead. Here, let me have a little bit of cake. I'll see you guys all later. Bye.